Heather Antos is very familiar with controversy. Her entire career has kind of been failing upward due to the controversies that she creates. Always talking about feminism and racism and all this stuff. And she doesn't really seem to focus on the properties where she actually works on. You've seen this many times in the past. It's always about her, and these companies have been duped several times. But is she running out of options? We'll get to this in just a second after her bizarre tweet rants at San Diego Comic-Con. Very interesting stuff. All right. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. And of course, I've made 43 comics myself, 17 novels since 2017. I've been fighting the good fight in the culture war and making great comics. I focus on this stuff. I have a lot of fun doing so. And so does everybody who comes along with me. I'm building a Subscribe Star right now. And what I'm trying to do is build this so that it pays for all my monthly art costs, pays for my software for editing, and also for my video stuff. And also just kind of gets us going so that we can be building something like monthly comics, so we can be the next IDW or the next Valiant Comics, places where Heather's gone through and destroyed. Look, we very easily, I can write like Stan Lee and make multiple comics a month. I just need you guys to come in hard. And it's fun. We're getting there. We're making a new comic. We've got a short coming up, which is going to be a public domain character revived from 1947, which we have not seen in a long time. And I'm excited to bring that to you. So check that out in the description below, please. Help us build our vision. It's imperative that we build these ecosystems that are going to be separate from this crappy mainstream industry. Now, I mentioned Heather Antos having trouble with her actual editing jobs before. I actually wrote an article on this for Bounding Into Comics a couple weeks ago. And as you can see, you can go through this. I'll put this link in the description below also. And she did a terrible editing job on this Star Trek comic, just botched continuity the entire way. It is her job as the editor of this to do this, by the way, and to make sure that all this stuff is accurate. There's so many reasons why this single issue is just 22 pages, and there were so many problems with it, was a failure. And I think it's because she's spending more time thinking about her person than actually doing her job. And maybe IDW is starting to notice. So this is what's going on. This weekend, she started posting about her depression. This is something that women do a lot on the internet when they're in these positions, try to get sympathy is what I like to call it. They use it as their blog for, I guess, their therapy sessions, to try to get all these people to come in and go, oh, you poor baby. She's an adult, right? Depression is such a fucked up thing. And here we go. This is where it gets really bizarre. You can, on the surface, have the most incredible life, literally be at the peak of your career, at the world's biggest event in your industry, surrounded by friends, fans, and colleagues whom you love and adore, and still struggle to get out of bed convinced that nothing is worth it. Well, I mean, there's a reason for that. Heather kind of knows that she's a phony, and she knows that she's not really doing a job that's worthy of being in the position and platform where she's at. And so that's the hard truth right there. When you get that, it starts to grind on you. It starts to really hit you mentally. And it's different. I never have that problem because I know I'm a fantastic writer, and I know that I'm doing a good job here, and everybody is enjoying my content here. Maybe I'm not invited to SDCC. Well, that's fine. I don't want to be in a place of 100,000 people forced to wear a mask indoors anyway. It's much better doing it this way. So interesting. That was a bizarre thing. Why is she so depressed, huh? What's going on, Heather? Maybe we can dig a little deeper. So here this comes. She gets this comment. I know Star Wars and Star Trek are your job and all, but do you actually like them? A question I was asked multiple times this weekend. Sigh. So here's this right here. Very interesting stuff. And you'll note that she doesn't answer whether she actually likes them or not. And I think the answer with Star Trek is clearly not. I mean, she didn't even watch Deep Space Nine well enough, or even do a cursory timeline search on their Memory Alpha page, which you could look up the timelines for this stuff to actually make this book make sense. So it seems like she doesn't like them. This is why this is asked of her. Of course, she implies that this is some sort of sexist whatever thing. It has nothing to do with that. It just has everything to do with the fact that, she doesn't really seem to talk about her actual job or seem to do her actual job very much. It just seems like she's complaining a lot online. Very odd. Now, this gets more interesting as it builds on. And as she gets back from San Diego, she goes, "Little Miss fucking tired of this shit." So as you see, it's building from a little bit of depression to she's lashing out at fans to wow, she literally can't even. This is getting weird. And then she makes this vague tweet. When it comes to big changes, we spend too much time dwelling on the scary reasons not to pursue them, and not enough time on the good that can come from moving forward. Look for the good. So look at this. When people make vague stuff like this, it seems like a job change or a relationship change. This is a big deal coming forward. And so I'm wondering if Heather's out at IDW, and that's really what was happening this weekend, that this has finally caught up with her, that the people, the powers that be there, are starting to realize that she's causing more problems for the Star Trek franchise than she is good for it. Interesting stuff, but there's changes on the way. And I guess she's trying to figure out how to do them. Maybe she's looking to jump ship before she gets fired, sees the writing on the wall. I know she's moved from a lot of companies over the last few years. Remember, she was quitting comics completely a couple years ago? Very odd stuff. Very interesting stuff. We'll be covering it here, everybody. We love to pay attention to the mainstream comics industry news and just see how they're circling the drain over there. Well, we're building. We're getting bigger. Everything's going great. Our crowdfund was our biggest ever for Overmind that just came just now. Independent comics are really winning, and they're winning because that passion's there. Because we're not depressed. We don't hate our jobs. I love doing everything I do. I love creating books. I love making videos for you. I love interacting with you, the fans. It's something very different than you'll experience with Heather Antos. And we're going to keep moving forward in a good way. We will win. All right. Thanks, everybody. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.